This is a huge call from Carla Ward, dropping her.
It's a huge call. It's a bold decision, and like Kaz just said then, they've conceded 10 goals in 4 games, and something's not working for them, and Carla Ward obviously thinks dropping Corsi is the answer. You know, I think you saw in the last clip there that Corsi got done in behind for pace, and no doubt they'll be worried about Chelsea's attacking threat and the pace that Chelsea have. So big decision, big call. Hopefully it works out for them.
Yeah, no Rachel Corsi, but Kirsty Hansen is back in the team for Aston Villa, and how key she's been this season as well. Coming up next, we'll talk Chelsea, yet to lose this season, and Aston Villa have never taken a point off them in the WSL. There's always a first. Woolly hat weather for Aston Villa against Chelsea over lunch in the WSL. Villa yet to nab a point off the Londoners in the league. If that run continues, Chelsea go top. That would be something to remember for the photo albums. Let's have a little look then at Chelsea. Their next 10 matches. This goes pretty rapid fire, Karen, between now and Christmas with the Champions League coming in. Any concerns coming off the international break into this?
Look, it's always tough after the international break. It's probably a great opportunity for Villa to play them, to be fair. But 5 games in the next 14 days, Caroline, so Emma Hayes is going to have to use her squad. And also, I'll be interested to see the players that came back off England international duty and the rest, obviously, in today. That's why I think it's a good opportunity for Villa. It's such a hectic schedule for them, but that's why you have a big squad.
Jodie, the great thing for Fran Kirby, who's back starting this one, is she comes off an international break where she scored for England for the first time since her injury. How big is it having her back?
Huge for her to be back. You know, it's great to see that she's back on the pitch and scoring goals, and hopefully she can build on those performances. You know, I've been playing with her at the Lionesses with the national team for a number of years. She's just so good in the pocket, and I think her partnership with centre forward today is going to be Mia Official. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see how they go today, from not having playing any games together yet, but no doubt they've put in the work on the training pitch to build that partnership. So great to see her back in. Can't wait to watch her play.
Yeah, Mia Official, again, who scored for the US over that international break. And we saw from her first match with Chelsea as well, she has the confidence to start these.
Yeah, she has. And like Jodie said, for Fran Kirby and Mia Official, they've not started a game together, so it'll be interesting. And looking at Fran's stats, she's got 31 assists, but 18 of them were to Sam Kerr. So today it's about, can those two combine together? And you're right, they've both travelled, they've both had distances international, so we don't know how they will be. And also it'll be interesting to see how they connect, because we haven't seen that connection from starting position today. So it'll be really interesting, but she's raw, she's talented. She's still got to adapt to the WSL. I think we saw that in the opening game in particular, but very, very talented player.
And just briefly, Jodie, quick word on 250 appearances in all competitions for Millie Bright. Such a leader for them.
She is a top leader. She's come through from strength to strength, showing her leadership with both club and country. And what a milestone for her to be making 250 appearances.
Yeah, Millie Bright, then captain for her country, coming into Chelsea in that 250th appearance for them today. Right, Chelsea have won all 6 WSL matches against Aston Villa, including last time out, which was 3 and easy.
And it's Jelena Čanković who strikes for Chelsea. The champions are doing what champions do. They're rising again. 2-0 to Chelsea. They've got Aston Villa running for cover now. It's carried all the way through here to Sam Kerr. It's Kerr. Another landmark moment. Goal number 50 of her WSL career.
Back home from their international break, the players of the WSL assembled for their 5th games of the season. Can Villa finally prove a point and take one against Chelsea? Next.
William Hill 5. Top tips for positive play. Don't chase losses.
What are you doing?
Know your limits. Get support if you need it. Take a break. Keep it fun. Find our safer gambling tools online or in shop.
second in the WSL, but Chelsea a point better off than this stage last season. A win at Villa for Emma Hayes sends them top. She's with Pat.
In terms of formation and shape today, looks like a little change. I know now's not going to be the reveal-all moment, but what can you tell us?
Nothing. It's your job to do that.
We'll have a guess.
Analysts in the studio that should be analysing that work. That's your job. Mine was to prepare the team, and the team are prepared.
Okay, and in terms of preparing them, what do you expect from Villa? Listen to your media yesterday. You expect them to be on the front foot and get about you a bit today, don't you?
100%. They'll be in a back four, and they will come at us. They'll be aggressive from the front and make it difficult. You see the conditions, serve as a leveller on some levels, but we have to play our stuff. We're creating a lot of chances, and I think the team know the three areas that I've honed in on to focus on for today. So I'll be looking forward to seeing that.
What are the three areas, or do we have to guess that as well?
Yeah, I'm not. Again, my job is not to make your job easy.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Emma.
Cheers.
And my job's not to make your job easier. Analysts should be analysing. Go on then, Karen. Analyse Chelsea.
To be fair, I would hedge a bet that it's about their XG. As you said, they created a lot. They've got the highest in the WSL, but just haven't converted them. I know we spoke about that on a couple of shows ago as well. But I think fast start for Chelsea. You're playing a team that haven't won. Probably confidence is an issue. So for Chelsea, you'd go fast start and be clinical in the final third.
I think it's the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes that Chelsea have conceded in, Jodie. So for Villa, what are they looking at to get this Chelsea team?
Well, I think first and foremost, they need to try and keep a clean sheet and not concede. I think coming off an international break, I think is a good opportunity to Villa to go out and try and get an early goal. Seeing as they might be a little bit disjointed starting. But yeah, first and foremost, I think they need to try and have a clean sheet mentality.
Did you relish these sorts of occasions when you know everything's against you? You haven't got a point yet. You've never even scored against Chelsea when you're playing at home.
Absolutely up for the challenge, and I think no better time to do it than now. They're needing to get a win, they need to score goals. They've got Kirsty Hanson back in their lineup. I think it's a great opportunity for them.
Seeing the crowd in there as well, we know that Carla Ward's talked about how important it is that they're playing this particular match at home. Is there pressure on her, or would you look at Chelsea and go, well, free hit?
There's pressure on every manager in the WSL, Caroline. But I think for Aston Villa, I just want them to see a little bit of fight. We showed the clips there of their off the ball. I'm not worried about in possession. I want to see people get up to the ball. I want to see some tackles. I want to see them make it difficult for Chelsea today. Don't give them any inch, because Chelsea will just pick them off. So I want to see a performance that the home fans will be like, yes, and get behind them and get the fans up for it. And like Jodie said, they have to have that clean sheet mentality today.
Well, they're not going to have clean shorts, because she was already talking to Mays about the conditions, and they can use that to their advantage.
Yeah, they can. They just need to make it as difficult as they possibly can for Chelsea. Use the fans, use the pitch. I think from what Kaz has said, it's an attitude, it's not even ability about getting up to the ball and pressing, about tracking back, working hard, throwing in tackles. It's got nothing to do with ability. That's all desire and work rate, and that's what we need to see from Villa today.
Is that harder to get a handle on attitude then?
I think that's the easiest thing. I think as a player, I always told myself if it wasn't quite my day on the ball or in front of goal, I always knew I could control how hard I worked. So it's not an ability thing, it's a mindset, it's an attitude, and it's something that they can absolutely bring today. You
just think, why haven't they done that before, though? All those things that you've pointed out.
It's balance, and to be fair, if you look at the games, Villa have been unlucky in a couple. So you can never say it's not an attitude, as to say people want to go out there and do well. It does go back to what we said about the transfers, balance of the team. If you've got someone that's really technical, you've got to put someone maybe next to them that's going to do the hard graft, the things that you get up to a throw-in, the things that nobody wants to do. That's what Villa have to do today. Probably haven't seen that type of stuff the last few games.
Jodie, Karen, for the moment, thank you. We talked a lot about defence, making the case for defence as always. Gilly Flaherty is alongside P. Mullenstein for this one.
Thank you very much, Caroline. Ascot Stadium welcomes out two teams at opposite ends of the table. 4 defeats on the bounce. Aston Villa have suffered their worst ever start to a WSL season. A chance today to put things right, and it would be some statement as they search for their first ever points against the reigning champions. Well, Chelsea's persistent pursuit of the top spot continues. After an unbeaten start to their season, Emma Hayes' side haven't lost in the last 11 top-flight matches. Well, let's take a check on the two teams and some big changes made as well. Carla Ward makes 4 changes to her Villa side after that 4-2 defeat against Tottenham before the international break. Dutch international Daphne van Domselaar continues in goal. She's still yet to keep a clean sheet for her new club. Lucy Parker was forced to pull out of international duty due to injury, so Sarah Mayling takes her place in defence. Maz Pacheco is the other change in defence as captain Rachel Corsie drops to the bench. Jordan Nobbs has scored 3 goals in her 21 appearances against Chelsea. She continues in midfield alongside Lucy Staniforth and Laura Blinkila-Brown. Kirsty Hansen returns after serving her 3-game suspension, while Alicia Lehmann is also back in the 11 after being named as a sub in the last 2 games. So the captain Rachel Corsie drops out, as does Adriana Leon and Ebony Salmon. This game though has come too early for Kenza Dali, who's still recovering from her injury. As for Chelsea then, Emma Hayes also makes 4 changes from their 6-goal thriller with Brighton. And Katrin Berger continues in goal. She's 1 away from 50 clean sheets in the league. Chelsea captain Millie Bright makes her 250th appearance in all competitions for the club in this game and is in an unchanged back 4. Erin Cuthbert joins Shuka Nuskin in midfield, who scored a hat-trick in the win against Brighton. Jessie Fleming and Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd both make their 2nd starts for Chelsea this season, alongside Fran Kirby, while Mia Fischel is back in the starting 11 after coming on as a substitute last time out. She leads the line for Chelsea this afternoon. Well, there's no Lauren James or Guru Wrighton in the squad. Sophie Ingle, Sam Kerr and Kadisha Buchanan are on the bench. Well, as this is the last home game for Aston Villa women before Remembrance Sunday, there will now be a rendition of The Last Post and a period of silence will follow.
To everyone here at Aston Stadium, this fixture being our last home game before Remembrance Sunday, could I invite you to please stand, if you are able to, for a rendition of The Last Post and a period of silence, which will end on the referee's whistle.
Aston Villa today desperate for a change of fortunes. It's been a tough run to start their season. 4 defeats in a row. Their last game suffering a 4-2 defeat to Tottenham Hotspur, but key players starting to return. Chelsea certainly have started to find their flow though. At times they have looked vulnerable. They do start this game 2nd in the WSL, only below Manchester City on goal difference. They are still one of 3 teams in the league unbeaten. Well, the final checks, and before we get underway, the players from both sides will take the knee. Well, here we go. It certainly has been a gloomy October for Aston Villa, who suffered 4 defeats on the bounce. But a new month, new ambitions. Today they look for their first ever points against Chelsea. And what a statement that would be, Gilly.
Yeah, and another big statement as well is not playing your captain. You know, that's a huge statement too for Carla Ward to make. But yeah, I mean, they're going to see it as a great opportunity. They're all back off of international. It's a great chance to play Chelsea.
Ritting Carnareed to play it away from danger. So quickly though. And Kirsty Hansen back for Aston Villa after serving that 3-game suspension. She was shown a red card against her former club very early on in the season, and she's been a big miss, Gilly.
Yeah, she's been a huge miss. You know, I think especially Rachel Daly, of all people, has missed her outlet on the left-hand side. You know, she produced a lot of assists last year for Aston Villa too, and they've really missed her, so it's a huge welcome back to her today.
There's Jordan Nobbs over to Hansen, and Nobbs again has options to her right. As Pacheco is making her way into the penalty area as well. Jordan Nobbs looking for the head of Rachel Daly, who was very nearly there. Well defended in the end by Chelsea, but Aston Villa causing the Chelsea defence problems already.
Yeah, and Hansen involved early doors too, but I think that's what you see in the link-up play. I don't think we've seen enough of that from Jordan Nobbs so far this season. You know, being that third player run, getting higher up the pitch, but she does well to cut inside here, but just can't. A huge important header there.
Early corner for Aston Villa, looking to take advantage. Rachel Daly was there again, looking to tower above everyone. Here's Jordan Nobbs to get away from Fleming, who's putting the pressure on. Killer Brown back to Turner. Well, there was a big statement made really by Carla Ward. She'd made a couple of changes for this game. One of the biggest ones, though, the captain, Rachel Corsie, on the bench.
Yeah, it's a huge decision. Obviously, I've previously been a captain, you know, centre-back. She's been one of Aston Villa's best defenders, if not best players so far this season. So it's surprising. You know, I don't think Rachel Corsie can dictate a lot of what other players do defensively, but...
As Pacheco over, and it was Jordan Nobbs who was arriving. Quite get there in the end, but it certainly is Aston Villa who's made a very, very bright start.
Yeah, and I think you can see with the conditions too. You know, the ball is moving in the air, the wind is strong. It's really hard, especially for a defender, to deal with those balls into the box.
Well, it has been raining all morning here in Walsall, and it's not stopped. No signs of stopping either. I did ask you actually, Gilly, if you enjoyed playing in conditions like this, and what was your answer?
I said, I love it. I said, come on. That's exactly my words. When you do a slide tackle, you continue sliding for ages. You know, the kit man weren't too impressed when you used to wear white shorts, but I loved it.
Here's Daly. Has gone over for Alicia Lehmann, but Chelsea win the possession back only for a short time. Here is Fleming. And Kirby's making the run forward, as is Ritting Carnareed. Fleming still going, looking to lift it into the area, but it was easy enough in the end for Daphne van Domselaar.
Yeah, surprised really that Fleming didn't release that ball earlier. You could see Fran Kirby's run. She'd run central. She was wanting it to be played earlier and earlier, but it wasn't let through. So then the ball just goes into the box. It's an easy catch for Van Domselaar.
Turner. Here's Alicia Lehmann. Goes back to Ann-Katrin Berger, who keeps her place in goal. There were question marks whether it would be Musovic or Ann-Katrin Berger who will start this game. Of course, Ann-Katrin Berger had started that last game. Their victory before the international break.
I just feel like with Emma, I don't really feel like I can ever predict her goalkeepers. You know, she could change it for one game
and then someone else comes in. Normally you have like a number one and then a cup goalkeeper, but obviously Chelsea is so fortunate and gifted that they've got many top goalkeepers.
Here's Hansen. Official looking to play it forward, but well defended. This is Staniforth. Back to Pacheco. When you look at the results that Aston Villa have, of course, on paper, they've not had good results. There's been 4 defeats on the bounce, but as we heard from Carlo Ward before the game, the performances have been there. They've been tight defeats, haven't they?
Yeah, and they lost both the games against United and Arsenal in extra time. An Arsenal game, they was 1-0 up and then had 12 minutes extra time added on. You know, that's difficult for any team. And I think the most ones they'd be disappointed about would be the Tottenham and the Liverpool ones. They should have picked up points there.
Here's Fleming. Over to Shukanuskan. Cuthbert looking to keep it alive. Here's Kirby looking to play in. Reetin Carnareed! Brilliant stop by Van Domstelaar to deny Reetin Carnareed. Chelsea very nearly with the opener.
Yeah, Mas Pacheco just switches off a little bit. Reetin Carnareed runs off her back shoulder. Okay, it's good build-up play from Chelsea. Now it falls to Frank Kirby, and this is what she's so good at picking out those passes. Reetin Carnareed, the ball seems to get stuck. She needs to do it on her second touch. Fortunate for Aston Villa.
Oh, corner delivery in. The header was there by Carter.
Yeah, it's a difficult header really for Jess Carter. She's leaning backwards. She challenges, doesn't really get challenged at all. It's too easy. But again, she's coming away. It's hard to really get any direction on that, keep it down.
Shaw just lost out there, and Staniforth wins it back for Villa. Perisset. Nobbs loses out, and this is Cuthbert. Killer Brown over to Rachel Daly. Sarah Merling, who was one of the 2 changes in the Aston Villa back line. Lehman finds Merling again. Needed to be the right cross because Rachel Daly was making herself available. Still alive, and here is Hansen. Away by Bright. Staniforth again. Nuskin looking to release Reetin Carnareed. Here is Frank Kirby! Off the bar, denied by the woodwork.
Beautiful strike, absolutely beautiful. But it's really good play really from Chelsea on the counter-attack. You know, they're busting the gut to get forward. Reetin Carnareed's trying to get over on the overlap. Takes a little look up, sees Frank Kirby, pulls there, cuts back in on her left foot. Ah, so close.
Well, 2 really good chances for Chelsea to try and take the lead. Cuthbert. Carter across to Niamh Charles. Looking for Reetin Carnareed, who'll chase it down, but there was too much power behind that pass.
You can see what Chelsea are trying to do though, because Reetin Carnareed's staying really wide, and Mas Pacheco's going so far over towards Dan Turner that the space is there. Looking back at this chance again, cuts inside, just leaning back a little bit, Frank Kirby, but we've seen her put that in the top corner many a time.
Staniforth. Here's Daly. Charles. Here's Perisset. Well, there is Carla Ward, who's had a tough start to the season after a 5th place finish last season, which I suppose is what has been the big shock really of this season, is the way that they had finished Aston Villa last season and the struggles that they have at the start of this season. Here is Daly. Charging forward in their numbers now, Villa. This is Daly again. Holds on and looks to take the strike, and very nearly whipped into the top corner.
Yeah, it's really good from Rachel there as well to see her making those third player runs. You know, she offers such an outlet for Aston Villa, but where she's so wide there, you're thinking, what can she do? She cuts inside, she looks up, there's nothing on at all. So why not go for it?
Well, Lucy Staniforth still down. I think there was a collision between her and Jessie Fleming. She's back up and okay.
Yeah, I think it's just the aftermath of that slide tackle. That's what I was telling you about, them slide tackles, you can just keep going. But I think it's just the aftermath of Jessie Fleming landing on her.
Charles looking to place it for Rutin Carnareed, away by Pacheco. Hansen was waiting to cross. It's Kirby! Straight to the hands of Van Domselaar.
Yeah, it was a good build-up play again on the left-hand side. Neve Charles puts the ball in. There, Kirsty Hansen's too slow. Perisset's right up behind her, wins the ball back. People might argue a bit too harshly, but for me it's fair.
Turner. Pacheco. Over to Hansen. Daly. And Turner get away from Nuskin. Here is Anna Patton. Well, Chelsea have won all 6 Women's Super League meetings against Aston Villa. Lehman will chase this down to try and get away from Carter. Well, it was a block that needed to come in at the right time by Jess Carter, and she got there just in time too.
Yeah, it's good play again from Aston Villa, that's set. And then the running behind from Alicia Lehman there. Rachel Day's trying, you can see her, she's trying to get the other side of Millie Bright, but good recovery from Jess Carter.
Well, another corner for Aston Villa as they look to try and take advantage of this. And in the end, it's straight into the hands of Ann-Katrin Berger. Nothing too testing for the Chelsea goalkeeper.
Yeah, for me, you're just putting it straight on top of Berger, and that's where she's comfortable. You know, get a player in and around her, make her hesitate.
Staniforth. Lehman put under pressure there by Charles, and she wins the free kick.
Yeah, I think she's clever there, Lehman. She can feel the pressure from Neve Charles. As sometimes though when you're a centre-back and you see your full-back or your winger go and do that, you say, you don't need to make that foul there. She's facing her own goal. Just stand up and force her to go backwards.
Turner, over to Hansen, now Pacheco. Chased down by Hansen, but Bright will get there first. Daly wins it, but couldn't find her teammates to make the most of it. Fleming. The official. This is Staniforth. Nicola Brown. Out to Hansen. It's a cross and Bright missed it, and Daly so very nearly broke the deadlock for Aston Villa.
Yeah, and a couple of times now the ball's come into Mia Official and she's turned it over. She's given it straight back to Aston Villa. Obviously here on the outside with Kirsty Hansen again. She's been so involved so far in this game. It's one of them ones though, it takes a deflection. Minnie Bright puts her leg up. No one really knows who's dealing with it. But Rachel Daly probably be frustrated with herself that she hasn't actually hit the target there.
Well, she was in the right place at the right time. It needed the right finish. Here is Erin Cuthbert, out to Bright. Hitting Connery. There's a dance her way inside the penalty area. Couldn't get past Pacheco.
I think it's hard as well. I think when you don't have a player like Sam Kerr in your team, you get the ball wide and they're looking to put the ball in the box, but they haven't got that aerial threat.
Cuthbert. Trying to keep it alive. Official couldn't quite hold on. Staniforth. Taken over by Jordan Nobbs. Here is Jordan Nobbs. Well, she had Rachel Daly to aim for, but Jess Carter going back to defend it for Chelsea.
Yeah, Aston Villa getting a lot of joy down the wide areas. Lehman on one side, Hansen on the other side too. Yeah, obviously they've got a lot of possession, 58% compared to Chelsea's 42%, but a lot of Chelsea's turnover is coming from themselves because they're not holding the ball, they're not making it stick.
There is Ritin Kanarid. Out to Perise. So that was a big block from Hansen.
I think with Chelsea as well, it's so long to make a decision. You know, Erin Cuthbert there's driving. You can see Ritin Kanarid just pulling out, play the ball. You keep taking touch after touch after touch. It's allowing the Aston Villa defenders to get closer to her.
Well, Emma Hayes has won all 10 games as manager against Aston Villa. She'll be hoping to continue that good record against the club this afternoon. Oh, you can see Gilly down on the touchline. Carla Ward is just telling her players to calm down.
Yeah, and I think it helps them playing at home here because she's a lot closer to the players, you know, and they probably can hear her compared to when you're playing at the Emirates, for example, and there's thousands and thousands of fans there. But yeah, it's just them just to settle. Don't you win the ball back? Don't give the ball straight back to Chelsea because you know they're going to come back at you again.
Here's Perise. Out to Bright. Charles to weave a way through. It's away by Patton. Collected again by Carter. Fleming. I was looking to play it forward. Nuskin. Cuthbert. Charles looks for options and it's Nuskin who's waiting for it. By Lehman, and a chance for Chelsea perhaps. Lehman again, put under pressure. She can't find a way out. And Charles is able to lift it into the stands, but a lot of pressure being put on Alicia Lehmann.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. A lot of it is so central there, but, I mean, it's like nobody really wants the ball. But, yeah, Alicia Lehmann is, I mean, sometimes just got to swing your foot in and just try and get it away. You know, it's hard. You're surrounded by Chelsea players. You can't set it back to no one. I think when she cuts back in here, you just got to go. Just try and make the best out of a tough situation that you're in.
And taking short to Kirby. Playing with the delivery. Fischl very nearly there. Fischl again. And Bright taps in from close range. Chelsea break through, and they take the lead.
I mean, at first I thought, wow, what a defensive header on the line there by Rachel Daly. There's me saying that Chelsea really don't have the aerial threat, and Mia Fischl's gone, hold on a minute, I'll show you, bang. Rachel Daly deals with it with a goal line clearance, but Millie Bright, calm and casual, puts it in the back of the net here, but obviously it goes out, it's too slow. Someone needs to go out. Alicia Lehmann goes out to the first ball. For me, Jordan Nobbs has to go out to the second ball. Great header there by Rachel Daly. Again, no one really comes out to the defenders. They all stand on the goal line. Millie Bright there's completely free. No one's even watched her. Bang, left foot, bottom corner. Too much ball watching there, but first of all, Rachel Daly, incredible header there, but Millie Bright, centre back, calm and composed, bosh.
Well, it is a milestone day for Millie Bright, her 250th appearance for Chelsea in all competitions, and she's marked it with a goal, her first goal of the season as well. Well, here comes Daly looking to respond quickly. Flashed across the face of goal.
Again, it's a good break from here from Villa. The space is there between Millie Bright and Jess Carter. No, Jordan Nobbs is occupying Jess Carter as well, which means that she can't really come over and help Millie Bright with Rachel Daly. But here, I think it's just frustration. She takes it early, just snatches at it, really.
Well, she wears the captain's armband today, Rachel Daly. In the absence of Rachel Corsi, is on the bench. Here's Perisset. Fischl is it forward for Ritin Carnareed. It was interesting as well, Julie, that not too many celebrations from Chelsea after they scored that goal. Of course, they went to celebrate with Millie Bright, but they went straight into a huddle to try and... They've had the chances, they weren't able to convert them, and Millie Bright in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, I think for them it was just getting together and saying, listen, we know that we can do better. Obviously, we have got that goal which takes that pressure off, but let's improve our own standards on the pitch. Let's look after the ball a bit better as well, take care of it. I mean, I'm disappointed. I thought Millie Bright might have done a knee slide or something, especially finishing the way she did, but they just want more, Chelsea. They're hungry.
Carnareed finds Kirby. Here's Perisset. Cuthbert. Here's Carter. Wide to find Charles. There's a placer for Kirby! Pushed away by Van Domselaar.
Yeah, what you're noticing as well with Jessie Fleming, with her plan on the left-hand side, she's coming really far in, which means Mayling has to come in and need Charles able to go on the overlap.
Ritin Carnareed now. For Fischl. Placed it back and just allowed the time for the Aston Villa defenders to try and cope with the chance that was coming in by Chelsea. Carter out wide. Shukanuskan. Kirby left it for Perisset. Quick play this from Chelsea. Perisset across. And Perisset was in the area and was about to take it, but just missed it. This is Kirby again. A relentless attack at the moment from Chelsea. They're looking for a second. Here's Ritin Connery. He's the right cross. Fischl was waiting for it. That's Kirby! She gets it in the end. Fran Kirby and Chelsea have their second. Well, they've had plenty of chances. They're certainly dominating now. And Fran Kirby gets two for Chelsea.
That bit of play, though, that passage of play, the amount of passes that Chelsea made, going from the left side to the right-hand side, the ball goes in. Aston Villa don't deal with it. It comes back around again through Millie Bright. Maspacheco all the time, 2v1 on that outside right. Again, he's bobbling around. Another goal line clearance then, but why go on the goal line? Why not come out and actually mark the defenders? You're dropping on the line and you're leaving Fran Kirby there completely free. Don't drop on the line, go out to the danger, which is Fran Kirby.
A first goal of the season for Fran Kirby. And Chelsea have doubled their advantage. A 2-goal cushion inside half an hour. And from what was already a tough start for Carla Ward and her Aston Villa side, they've got some work to do now to try and get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, but I feel that goal from Millie Bright as well just sort of give Chelsea that control. You know, you saw it, like we said, getting the huddle. They definitely just said, let's keep the ball, let's control it, let us dictate what happens here today. And they've just done that by that goal. The amount of passes that was in that, and even then when they did turn it over, it went straight back to them and they worked it back out the other way. Beautiful.
Here's Perisset. Anna Reid. To Kirby. Has Cuthbert in support. Ahead looking for Fischl, but it was stopped quickly by Turner. Picked up here by Pacheco. Well, from what was a bright start, Jelly, by Aston Villa, it seems that Chelsea have really gained control of this game and they've held on to it.
Yeah, and I think obviously with Aston Villa, I don't think they've helped themselves, because every time they get the ball, they just literally give it back to Chelsea. Now, they're not looking after it like they was initially, but Chelsea are moving the ball so much quicker now that Aston Villa can't get near them. You know, and they're just playing around them. They're doing a 1-2 off the back shoulder.
Turner. Well, she will certainly be pleased with the first half performance so far from her Chelsea side, who are leading by 2-0. And they've certainly had a much stronger last 10 minutes or so. They've been dominating in the possession, and the chances, the shots have been coming in thick and fast as well against this Aston Villa defence. Turner to Van Domselaar. And across to Charles. Charles keeps it alive, puts it across. Fleming, stopped by Van Domselaar. It was a great save. Cuthbert! And this time held into the hands of Van Domselaar.
It's like they're all lining up to take a shot. Who's going to have this chance? Who's going to have that one? But it's a great diagonal ball over to Niamh Charles. She has the initial one blocked. Again, Fleming has that chance there, but Chelsea just first to react towards everything. Van Domselaar does a good save there, because obviously it comes in at power from Erin Cuthbert, but Chelsea are first to everything. Aston Villa defenders just standing there watching.
So work to do for Carla Ward and her Aston Villa side to try and get back into this game. It's a tough ask against the reigning champions Chelsea, who so far have been unbeatable this season. Still one of 3 teams who haven't lost yet in the league. Fleming. To Charles.
I also think as well, just looking at where the space is coming from, if we need Charles on that left-hand side, is because Jessie Fleming's coming so far in. If I'm Sarah Malin, I've either got to say, listen, I can't go with Fleming because Alicia Lehman's not helping me out and tracking back at all.
Nuskin looking to fire it forward for Fischel. Well, a hat-trick of goals for Shuka Nuskin. Her first goals for Chelsea. What a way to get your first goals as well. A hat-trick in a game in the last game. She's hoping to continue that momentum.
She could have had more as well, because on her last one, Aggie Beavers, Joan, her goal, she passes it to her where she could have had the strike herself. So she thought, oh, you know what, I don't fancy 4 today. I'll give another person a chance to score.
Unselfish. Nuskin. Back to Carter. Here's Bright. I just looked caught in two minds, really.
Yeah, she doesn't look particularly that confident at the moment. I think it's been difficult for her since she's come in.
Harrison. There's Cuthbert. Chased down here by Charles. Looking to aim for Kirby, was waiting for it, as was Fischel. Kirby! Well, they're looking for a third. And Kirby denied again.
It's that space again. Need Charles all on her own. Alicia Lehman, that's your job. You need to get back and help your teammates out. Too easy. Fran Kirby there, she's hungry though, Fran Kirby today. You can tell she wants more goals.
Carla Ward to leave the captain Rachel Corsie out of the starting 11.
I don't really think that's changed anything at all. You know, I think for me, she's the organiser, she's the communicator. You know, she leads that back line. She's been top of everything for Aston Villa this season, and yeah, I'm completely surprised why she's not playing today.
Well, she did say in a pre-match interview it was purely tactical. At the moment, she'll have to try and find something to get her side back into this game, because Chelsea dominating. Staniforth. Pacheco. Over to Daly. Fischel up against Patton there to try and win the ball, and they get the free kick as well, Chelsea.
Yeah, I think Mia Fischel does really well there, because the last couple of times the ball's come into her, she's tried to take a touch first time round the corner. That one, she actually gets hold of it and obviously wins Chelsea a good free kick here. But yeah, Anna Patton, she's pulling her, she's really trying to take a shirt off her. By the looks of it, it's madness. Just stand up again.
Yellow card shown as well for Patton. This is Fleming. Nuskin, second formation, Anna Patton got the yellow card. Here's a chance again for Chelsea as Niamh Charles tries to find a way in. Well, she was shown a yellow card on a Patton for kicking the ball away after the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a difficult one because she's spinning into it, really. So, I mean, I find that's quite harsh, but if the referees deemed it as a yellow, the same referee that sent me off, to be fair, for 2 yellows, so I can't say too much.
Pacheco. There's Jordan Nobbs. Staniforth. Well, Aston Villa have found it difficult to really break down the Chelsea defence. They had a couple of opportunities right at the start of the game when they started so brightly, but they weren't able to take advantage of it. Pacheco, cut short by Cuthbert.
Yeah, they found a lot of joy in the wide areas initially at the beginning of the game, but I think Chelsea switched on to that defensively too. But it's hard when there's a four at the back. There's a lot more space for Chelsea defenders in between. But they're getting back a lot quicker and helping each other out. But Aston Villa just get the ball and they give it straight back to Chelsea. They're not tidy enough like they was initially in the first 15 minutes or so.
Connery.
I think you're also noticing as well that in the first part of the game, Aston Villa were pressing high, hard and aggressive. But now you're looking at Jess Carter then, she had probably about 10, 15 seconds, maybe longer on the ball to make a decision with no one really challenging her.
Well, Daly looking to get past Millie Bride, of course, England teammates against each other this afternoon. Charles. Nuskin to Carter. As Nuskin finds Kirby. Whittington across to Nuskin, who just missed it. Couldn't get a strike away. Right in front of goal though.
Yeah, that was good build-up of play then from Chelsea. You know, the short passes, Nuskin's driving into space, not really sure what she can do with it. Just sort of swings her leg at it when it comes back across.
Patton. There's Parise. Whittington. Well, a chance to tell you what we've got coming up on Sky Sports Football. Brighton against Manchester United in the Women's Super League. Coverage from 6 o'clock, getting underway 6:30 p.m. for that one. That will certainly be a tasty tie in the WSL. Parise over to Whittington. To get away from Staniforth, but Cuthbert gets it for Chelsea, and Hansen, who got the block in at the right time. Pacheco. There's Daly. Kirby looking to get forward, but well timed by Danielle Turner.
Yeah, that's become really scrappy then as well. You know, Chelsea had it, Aston Villa won it back. Aston Villa had it, Chelsea won it back in a tight area too.
Cuthbert will go from distance. The shot was a tame one in the end.
Yeah, she fancied it there, Erin Cuthbert. You know, if a player can do it in this Chelsea side, it is Erin who could take the touch out of her feet. It just sort of drags it really wide. But again, there's not really much pressure coming from an Aston Villa defender to go and close her down.
Pacheco over to Hansen. Daly has come out the worst of that challenge from Cuthbert. Aston Villa wanted to see a free kick there. She stays down, Daly, but play continues. And now eventually the referee, Ariel Byrne, has stopped play because she will need some treatment here, Rachel Daly.
Yeah, I think for me, it's a strong challenge from Erin Cuthbert. I mean, she connects with the ball. She's first to the ball. I'm not too sure. I think it's the after bit that she gets Rachel Daly, but yeah, there was no high boot or studs up or anything. I think she cleanly wins the ball, and I just think it's the follow through that catches Rachel Daly.
A chance though for both managers just to put some final bits of words in before the break. But let's have a look at how Chelsea took the lead, starting with this goal from Millie Bright.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Rachel Daly does really well. But it's just Aston Villa. There's so many Aston Villa defenders around there, and no one gets out to Millie Bright. You know, it's just sort of sloppy again here. Fran Kirby, she's the first to react. She reacts second as well. Aston Villa defenders just watching. No, get out your defender, get out to the ball, get a block, get it, whatever you can do to stop that ball going into the net.
Well, Rachel Daly back on her feet, so she looks okay to continue. So we edge closer to the half-time break. What do Aston Villa need to do to get themselves back in this game, Gilly?
Tidy up, you know, look after the ball. I think they're trying to look to break and counter quickly against Chelsea, because Chelsea throw a lot of bodies forward. But if you've got only 2 or 3 players up there, it's really difficult. But I think just the turnovers are sloppy from Aston Villa. They're winning it back. Defensive line are trying to look forward. It's not on, but they're still playing it. Keep the ball.
Patton. Terrace. Across for Charles. Chelsea moving forward in their numbers. Kirby looking for a bit of space. In the end, it was more of a pass towards the Aston Villa goalkeeper, Van Domselaar.
Yeah, it just seemed like she couldn't really get the ball out of her feet. But again, if you ask me the question again, what potentially could Carla Wood be saying? For me, something has to change on that right-hand side. Neve Charles is getting through and getting up so easily. So whether that's a change in personnel or maybe just to have a little word with players.
There's Alicia Lehmann. Was charging down that right-hand side, but there's a well-timed stop in the end there by Carter. Daly. So this is good play from Aston Villa, and Hansen was waiting to pounce, but Jordan Nobbs couldn't quite make the most of it. The flag was up anyway.
I'll say, what a pass from Rachel Daly there. Sort of just a cut pass. Jordan Nobbs, sorry, is just, yeah, she's offside. But again, that reverse pass from Rachel Daly. You see Hansen's coming round, but Perisset does really well to cut that angle off that she can't find her.
Into 3 minutes of added time before the break. I wonder what she will be saying at half-time. They are currently suffering their worst ever start to a Women's Super League season, Aston Villa. They needed improvements. They have had a tough run of fixtures, though, to be fair to them. It's the start of the season. And it doesn't get any easier with the reigning champions. To weave away in. Cuthbert was there. Kirby very nearly pounced, and it was Turner who was able to clear it away.
Yeah, better defending them from Aston Villa because they're closer to their players. Now, Erin Cuthbert, she's trying to get into the box, but she's tightly marked, and that's how they need to defend.
Ritin Connery. Kirby. Offside flag, though. For Chelsea, Gilly, it seems like they've been in control pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, they have. You know, they've dictated. I think the first 10-15 minutes was a bit nervy for them, but I think they've controlled the rest of the game. Obviously, they're getting a lot of joy from Niamh Charles on the left-hand side there. I mean, I do think they miss a presence like Sam Kerr who's staying in there. But again, most shots in the first half so far, you know, in this game. You say it's paid off because they're 2-0 up, but, you know, there could be so much more. They could be going in at 3-4-0.
Cuthbert. Pacheco wins it back for Aston Villa, but the hour's there and it goes the way of Chelsea. Chelsea currently on a run of 11 games unbeaten. Hoping to continue that here as Ritin Connery manages at this Aston Villa defence, picked up here by Perisset. Ritin Connery again. Frank Kirby still down for Chelsea.
Yeah, just watching Frank Kirby there. I think she gets caught late. I'm not too sure if she's holding her calf. Obviously, the first tackle, yeah, I think it's Dan Turner just comes in from behind her, hoping that potentially if it's a knock into her calf, she can just run it off. I'm not sure if it's calf or her ankle.
Well, a dominant first half performance from Chelsea, and it started off by Millie Bright, who was in the right place at the right time to tap in to open the scoring, and it was Fran Kirby with her first goal of the season to make things a little bit more comfortable for Chelsea in that first half, to make it 2-0, her first goal of the season as well. Chances for Aston Villa right at the start, the best one from Rachel Daly, but work to do for Aston Villa if they want to get themselves back into the game. Plenty of analysis to come. Half-time score, Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2.
Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2. A gloomy old day in the Midlands. Just got a bit darker for Aston Villa fans. Jodie Taylor, Karen Carney here. Let's go to that first goal and a bright spot, at least for Chelsea.
Yeah, well worked from Chelsea from this short corner. See, pops out there, Frank Kirby, trying to draw out Aston Villa, make it a little bit difficult, then comes out to Jessie Fleming, and then it's a dink to the back post, and then those little two passes cause chaos really, and Aston Villa lose their players, and there's Millie Bright then to tap it in. But this is the angle that you see there. Millie Bright, number 4, back stick moving, just trying to get away from the defender, loses them once, loses them twice. There's a bit of chaos in there, like I mentioned. Brilliant header there from Mia Fischel, who wins that ball, and then it's just easy there for Millie Bright just to pick it up. No one's picking them up. Brilliant header there, Fischel. I mean, it was a great clearance off the line from Rach Daly, but again, that second phase has been a real big problem for Aston Villa today.
Yeah, causing problems all the time, Chelsea.
Yeah, they are, and you know, they dominated possession a lot the second part of this first half, and it was a lovely 1-2 out wide. It was a brilliant dink far post from Cannerid in the box, and again, just no one picking up players on second run. I think Fran's had a really good first half, but just watch her movement and the timing of her arriving in the box to get on the end of that. But they're just really slow to react to that second phase, and it's really let Villa down this first half.
Is it times when you just go, just lump it, just clear it?
You try, but you know, I actually do feel for Villa in this. I think the first 5-10 minutes, I felt Villa were really, really good, and then after that, then that's the best I've seen Chelsea play for a long time. tactically, their execution, the adjustments of Jess Carter, then the overload on the left-hand side. Midfield has been, like, I thought they've been superb, the best I've seen them in a long time.
Just briefly, Jo, did you see enough in that Villa side, that personnel out there now to change things?
Again, I thought first 10 minutes they were lively. I think the wind got knocked out of them a little bit after that first goal, which kind of didn't come at the best time for them. I don't think the first 15 minutes really shown that. But yeah, I think they needed to manage that first half a little bit more. I think there could have been moments where they could slow down the game as the momentum shifted, and Chelsea really dominated that half in the end.
Yeah, wind knocked out on them on a rainy old day in the Midlands, and it's Chelsea at the moment leaving Villa blue. Jodie, we talked about Villa needing fight and passion and belief. It all came from Chelsea in that first 45. Yeah,
it did. They really did dominate this half. They had 20 shots, which is the most by any WSL team in the first half this season. And they caused so many problems, especially Fran Kirby. Want to highlight her, just their positioning to get in pockets and tight spaces. And you saw a lovely through ball that should have been a goal, and her cutting in and getting a shot off and hitting the bar. And it was just relentless by them. There was so much space down that left-hand side. They're moving the ball quickly, the switch and play, picking up second balls. Like, they really are dominating this half.
Yeah, relentless is the right word, Karen. You just can't really see where Villa are going to come back at them.
Half-time came at a great time because they needed to tactically adjust. So I'm really interested to see what they do second half. It is still 2-0. They get the next goal, they're firmly back in this, especially at home.
Let's head back for the second 45 then with Gilly Flaherty and Peen Willenstein.
Thank you very much, Caroline. So the teams are out, the teams are ready. I wonder what Carla Ward has had to say at half-time to her players. Neither manager making any changes at half-time. So the same teams that we ended the first half with will start the second half, and a reaction and a response is required from Aston Villa. Can they do it? And away we go. Chelsea, who dominated the first half, they had plenty of chances as well. Karen Carney said in the studio, Gilly, that it's the best that she's seen Chelsea play this season. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think they've been a lot of really good on the ball, you know, movement off the ball, supporting each other, supporting second player runs as well. But they still got a chance to go up another gear, though. This is Chelsea, you know, they've still got a lot left in the locker.
Staniforth. Yeah, cross, and Turner plays it forward only as far as Bright. Here's Charles. Now Carter. Cross to Millie Bright, who opened the scoring for Chelsea in the first half. Her first goal of the season on her 250th appearance for the club. Picked up by Staniforth. Killer Brown holds on to the possession for Aston Villa. Now Jordan Nobbs.
I'm also just having a little look as well, because I don't know if this is potentially the tactical change, but Rachel Daly's come out on this right-hand side and Alicia Lehman's gone down the middle. They've had to deal with Nick Charles a lot better than obviously what was happening in the first half. So be interested to see if it stays like that or whether they flip back.
Rachel Daly had a couple of chances in that first half. They did start brightly, the opening 10-15 minutes or so for Aston Villa. They certainly did test the Chelsea defence.
I was going to say, just as I said that, they now flip back. So maybe it weren't no tactical change at all.
Pacheco with the throw-in. Aston Villa haven't won in the last 5 WSL home games, which are either side of the summer. Here comes Fleming, looking to place it through to Kirby! Well, the celebrations are cut short because the flag is up against her. What a start to the second half that would have been for Chelsea.
Yeah, it would have been a great start. Again, no one's really sure at all where she is. I mean, Mas Pacheco then steps the last minute, but she is offside there. But again, centre-back just ball watching, not really watching the third player run.
Mailing into Staniforth, who's searching for Jordan Nobbs, who is making the run. Flag stays down for now, and she tried her best to get it away from Ann-Katrin Berger, who had a big hand to save it.
Yeah, again, Luce Staniforth's got all the time in the world. You know, she is onside. Perisse's playing her onside on the other side. Again, strong hand from Berger there to push it away for a corner.
Well, Staniforth with the corner delivery for Aston Villa. Here's Kirby, clears away the danger. Staniforth will chase it down, as will Nusken. And a pattern. Stopped there by Rutin Carnery. Charles back to Berger. Fischel finds Kirby, who's looking to break through and away from Pacheco, but Aston Villa defence holds strong this time. Quentin Carnery looking to take it away. This is Mailing. Running forward, stopped by Daly, and here's Lehmann.
I think with Aston Villa though, it's just predictable. It's like Rachel Day is getting the ball there. She's got no support whatsoever. Everyone's running away. Alicia Lehmann's running away for the ball over the top. Chelsea just reading it. They need more support for the player on the ball. You should have at least 2-3 options. Come and give short. Come and make an offer.
Here is Carter for Chelsea. Played in, but stopped by Pinkilla Brown. Now Aston Villa with the opportunity to go forward, but they didn't have much chance because Fran Kirby came back to help Chelsea defence, but she's struggling a little bit at the moment.
I think it's always really worrying with Fran when, you know, you see her pull up. I think because of just the history of what she's gone through injury-wise, so you're just always hoping that she can run off whatever pain she's got.
Here is Fischel. Need to try and weave away from Turner. The ball across, but just behind.
Yeah, Mia Fischel picks up the ball there. It's hard really because she was trying to get past the defender. Aston Villa defend that really well. Just stand up, make it hard for her to make a decision. Eventually runs herself into trouble, but wins Chelsea a corner.
Well, the two centre-backs for Chelsea, Millie Bright, Jess Carter getting in. Try and get on the end of this. I say with a delivery. Didn't know Nusken was there. Good chance again for Chelsea to try and get their third, and Shuka Nusken waiting to pounce.
I mean, I'm not really too sure how she's just give that a goal kick, but Nusken there, free header. She headers it down and it seems to come off of Kirsty Hansen's face, but the referee has given that as a goal kick.
There's Perisset. Quick play from Chelsea as they look to fashion another chance. Here's Lehmann. Staniforth. Wide to Pacheco, and now Villa can come forward. This is Jordan Nobbs. That's support arriving ahead of her too. This is Hansen. Just didn't have enough to hold on to it. Killer Brown holds on for Aston Villa though. This is Staniforth now. Hansen again. There's a turn and get away from Perisset, plays it in, Daly's there. Well, too many blue shirts in the way.
And I think what you notice when you don't have Kenza Darley in the team is you've got a player who she's always forward thinking and she's brave to make those passes rather than constantly keep dribbling like you see there with Jordan Nobbs. She finds them defence splitting passes, and I think that's what's been a huge loss so far for Aston Villa this season.
Here's Hansen. Pacheco looking to come forward, but it was a good stop by Perisset. Well, some potential changes being made for Chelsea. Shea Lawrence and Maggie Beaver-Jones. A loose ball picked up by Charles. Well, that's space to run into. Frank Kirby wanted it a lot earlier.
I think you're seeing now, though, players getting heavy legs. You know, the pitch doesn't help with that. Just come back off international duty as well. The ball's getting stuck under their feet. They can't get it out quick enough.
Killer Brown over to Alicia Lehmann, and now Staniforth just loses out and Nusken gets it. Jordan Nobbs wins it back for Villa. Frank Kirby's down again, but Fleming looking to place it through for Fischl, who will chase it down. Well, the flag was up anyway, so she held her run. It just doesn't look like Frank Kirby is moving too comfortably at the moment, Gilly.
No, especially not after Sarah Malin just left one on her as well then late, which Aston Villa very fortunate not to get, or not to give away a free kick there. But yeah, I don't know whether potentially you just look to get Frank off, protect her. They've got big games coming up in the league, but also Champions League as well. You want her fit and you want her ready for it.
Here is Charles back to Anke Trinberger. Who hasn't had too much to do to defend her goal. Now Rutin Connery. Chasing this down, could go all the way alone. Rutin Connery for Chelsea! Brilliant goal. Johanna Rutin Connery gets Chelsea's third in some style too.
Yeah, it was a great run from Rutin Connery. You just see her as well. She takes that touch in between the two centre-backs. There was no catching her. I did think at one point, was she going to slice it across for Frank Kirby? But she thought, no, I'm taking this on my own and I'm going to bury it in the back of the net. Again, it's just turnover, it's sloppy. She runs in between. Dantone's been pulled out. She runs in between Pacheco and Patton there. She only got one thing on her mind, and that's to put the ball into the back of the net, which she does so well.
Well, her first goal of the season for Johanna Rutin Connery. And whilst that's happening, a couple of changes being made as well for Chelsea. So Aggie Beaver-Jones is on to replace Smia Fischl. And as we expected, Frank Kirby will be making way for Ashley Lawrence.
Yeah, for me there, I think with the Frank Kirby one, I mean, you've got 3 goals now, get her off, protect her. But also as well with Mia Fischl, I think she's had a difficult game so far. And I think she'll learn a lot in these sort of games. You know, it's a game where especially the first 15-20 minutes, she was getting balls, she was turning them over because of the pressure. But exciting prospect, young prospect with Aggie Beever-Jones to come into the game.
Well, she scored her first goal in the last game against Brighton in that 4-2 victory, Aggie Beever-Jones. Chelsea comfortable in this game. Aston Villa simply haven't had the answers to the threats that Chelsea have shown. And I suppose the unfortunate thing for Aston Villa is they're facing a Chelsea team who really seem to have finally found their flow this season.
Yeah, and I think playing Chelsea is always a difficult game anyway. You know, I think last year, I remember we was here, Chelsea versus Aston Villa, and Chelsea just come off the back of Champions League, and everyone was thinking this is Aston Villa's chance to beat them, and they was just all over it, Chelsea. They just turned up, and they know how to win games. But I think this isn't a game really that Aston Villa will be highlighting to get points from, but they've got big games coming up.
Here's Ashley Lawrence, first involvement in this game. It was interesting, actually, Gilly, listening to the thoughts of Emma Hayes ahead of this game and how she was looking forward to this November, because they've finally got a good chunk of games where they can really start to get their momentum.
Yeah, I think obviously playing for Emma, that's what I used to like as a player, and that's what we liked, you know, playing regular games. You're able to have the momentum. I was always a game player anyway, not that I wasn't a good trainer, because I was, obviously, but I preferred playing matches, and that suits Chelsea too.
An attack though for Aston Villa, headed away by Charles, picked up by Pacheco. Mailing finds Lehman, taken away by Ashley Lawrence.
Yeah, it's a great ball in from Kirsty Hansen there, but that's where you need someone. Lynn Gillibrand, she needs to be brave, get across your defender. You know, sometimes you might have to take a hit, but you've got to be brave and get across.
Cuthbert, Charles, Shukanuskan, and it just left it there for Hansen. Could have potentially been dangerous, but Chelsea able to tidy things up at the back. There may be a change imminent for Aston Villa. Their captain, Rachel Corsie, is out warming up. Will she be coming on? Here's Lawrence, though. Beever-Jones wants it. Back to Lawrence. Goes back to Charles, and now Cuthbert. Charles, the delivery, and it came in with some pace as well, but the flag was up against it.
Yeah, really good play there from Aggie Beever-Jones as well, because she gets the ball, she holds it up. She does see Erin Cuthbert spin, wants the ball, but she didn't feel it was right. And I think earlier on in the game, Mia Fisher, for example, was still trying to play those balls and turning the ball over. Just keeps the ball and goes back to Jessie Fleming.
Another change soon to be made for Chelsea. Elena Stankovic is getting ready to come on. Nuskin. Hansen has stayed down for Aston Villa. She looks to be in quite a bit of pain. Kirsty Hansen.
Yeah, she seems to be holding her ankle there. I don't know if it gets stuck underneath her as she goes forward a little bit. And obviously it's been wet today. It's starting to dry up a little bit now, so Stud's getting potentially caught in there when the platter moves. She's up, which is a good sign.
Have you seen an improvement from Aston Villa in the second half, Gilly?
I think it's been difficult for them. I don't think they've been able to get near Chelsea. You know, they just need to be better on the ball, have a lot more options. Don't stand and watch your teammate.
Here is Cuthbert. Chased down by Fleming. Fleming across, and there's the chance, and there's the goal. Ashley Lawrence with her first goal for the club. Chelsea have 4, and they are in cruise control.
And that's another goal as well that's just come from Aston Villa's turnover. Lucy Staniforth, an experienced player in the WSL, just takes too long on the ball, too long to make a decision. It's comfortable possession for Aston Villa. Just go back early. She doesn't. Erin Cuthbert does so well with that, pressurising the player from behind. Here, Aston Villa defenders, no one is tight enough whatsoever. They've got this thing about dropping onto the goal line or dropping back. You're a defender. Pick the player up, get tight to him, and don't allow him the time.
Well, it just goes from bad to worse for Aston Villa, as Chelsea have extended their lead to a 4-goal cushion. There was a change as well. Cuthbert off for Cankovic, and here's a chance for Aston Villa maybe to get one back. And it forced the stop there from Ann-Katrin Berger.
Yeah, again, Kirsty Hansen here on the ball. When she has got forward, she has been a spark for Aston Villa. But Jess Carter does really well there, gets in a good position. Her and Berger deal with the ball.
So there is the change for Chelsea. Jelena Stankovic is on. Has to defend this from Aston Villa, and it's lifted over, and the opportunity wasted really for the home side.
Yeah, it's just a wasteful ball into the box. Really goes completely out of play, but it's just forced from Aston Villa. Need to look after the ball a lot better.
Carter. Here's Lawrence. Here's her first goal for Chelsea. Her first goal in quite some time as well. The last one was back in May for her former club, PSG. Julie, as a player, what's the psychological impact of going on a 5-game winless run?
Oh, it's awful. I've been there with West Ham. You know, you just look into the next game and thinking, let's try and get something from this game, and then it doesn't happen. You know, and you do watch around. I mean, it's still early on in the season, but you do still watch what other teams are doing. But you're just desperate to get those points on board. And I mean, they've got the fixtures coming up. Obviously, you've got Bristol, you've got West Ham, you've got Everton. They'll be targeting them games to get points.
A slightly kinder run of fixtures, perhaps, for Aston Villa coming up than what they've had to start their season with. Of course, already faced Manchester United, they faced Arsenal, Liverpool and Tottenham were in there too, and now Chelsea. Lehmann. Here's Beaver-Jones. Keeps going as well, looking for a 5th. And she's got it too. Aggie Beaver-Jones with her 2nd of the season and a 5th for Chelsea this afternoon. And it really has gone from bad to worse for Aston Villa.
I mean, it's really good play from Aggie Beaver-Jones. She picks the ball up wide. She's having a little look at first, because I don't know if she thinks she's offside. But she's the only one to react. Again, Lucy Staniforth turnover there. She spins off everybody's ball watching, and Dan Turner there is playing her completely onside. The line is all over the place there. And then it's just sort of easy run into the box, into the bottom corner.
Well, it is a great finish from Aggie Beever-Jones to make it 5-0 for Chelsea, and this is painful for Aston Villa. Alicia Lehmann will chase this down.
But if I'm Rachel Coulson and I'm sitting there and I'm watching this, I'm thinking, how have I been the one to been dropped, to been taken out of this back line? Because for me, they're her experience. Dan Turner there is playing Aggie Beever-Jones on completely there. The line's all over the place. And when you take someone out who's your captain, who's your organiser, your communicator, they're the ones who dictate the line, who hold the line, who get people working. And it's been evident today how much she's been missed by Aston Villa.
Well, she won't be sat by watching for much longer because she's getting ready to come on for the final 20 minutes or so of this game. And it will feel like a long 20 minutes for Aston Villa. When you look at this Aston Villa squad, Gilly, should they be struggling as much as they are at the moment?
It's difficult. I think Karen was great with the analysis when she says about the recruitment. It has a lot been attacking-minded focused, you know, and it hasn't really been defensively focused at all with the signings they've got. You've got Van Domselaar, who's new to the team, who Anna Patton said midweek as well about she screams and shouts for the Netherlands, but she has to bring that in. She's finding her feet, she's learning the language. That's difficult as well, but yeah, they haven't recruited, in my opinion, strong enough defensively.
Here is Anna Patton. Van Domselaar, it's been a busy afternoon for her. Here comes Rachel Daly. Looking to try and claw one back for Aston Villa. Alicia Lehmann! Inches away, just wide.
Yeah, that was really good feet initially from Alicia Lehmann as well to shift it from one foot to the other. But Chelsea just seems to get in and around it to stop anything going further. But that just touched there and her right foot across her body. But Millie Bright does well to recover.
So here come a couple of changes then for Aston Villa. So Jordan Nobbs makes way for Rachel Coursey, and Alicia Lehmann is off for Ebony Salmon.
Number 6, Rachel Coursey.
Fanny for the delivery, headed away by Bright. Well, Aston Villa's worst ever defeat in the Women's Super League was 7-0. They suffered it twice. They'll be hoping they won't be suffering that same fate again today, but it's Chelsea who've certainly been the dominant force with more of the chances, and that's one of the things that Emma Hayes wanted to see more of, actually converting those chances that they were creating in so many games already this season.
Yeah, they've been ruthless as well, and they could have had many, many more as well if you're going off the first half chances that they had, but it gives the team great confidence as well when other goal scorers are stepping up and putting the ball in the back of the net.
Salmon placed it down, but well watched out though by Charles.
And Emma's probably really relieved that she hasn't had to resort to bringing Sam Kerr on either. You know, she's got the job done. You don't have to bring her on. You can rest her going into the games that you've got coming up.
Well, there is Sam Kerr. She had quite a busy international break, actually, Sam Kerr. She scored 5 goals in her 3 appearances for Australia during the international break, a hat-trick at the end of October. So, a bit of a rest for one of Chelsea's key players. Meeting Connery. Bright. And looking for Aggie Beever-Jones. This is Rutin Carnareed again. Has to get away from Corsi. Muskin. Fleming. Rutin Carnareed keeps hold of it as well. Charles! It's 6. Well, Chelsea are thrashing Aston Villa. Not a good look on the face of Carla Ward. Chelsea 6-0 up at Aston Villa.
It's hard because it's what do you even say? You know, Pacheco tries her best. Ebony Salmon completely switched off to where Niamh Charles is. So the deflection takes the ball away. But Niamh Charles, great finish. Don't take nothing away from that either.
Another first goal of the season for Niamh Charles. They're getting goals all over the pitch. 6 different goal scorers, 6 goals. Chelsea dominant, Chelsea relentless.
And I think that's really good for Chelsea, I think, because last year when obviously they had Harder out for a while, they had Fran Kirby out for a while, a lot was put on Sam Kerr, you know, and like I said, you haven't had to use her today, and you've got other people stepping up, gives them the confidence as well that they can do this going forward.
Salmon. Hansen forward. Pacheco will do her best to try and keep it in. Hansen. Patton over looking for Salmon, who couldn't quite reach it. Staniforth. How do you pick yourself up as a player, Gilly, when you've got a scoreline this big against you?
It's difficult, but I think what's good for Aston Villa is they've got League Cup games coming up, which are against lower opposition as such, so that could be a good chance just to play your strongest team, get a good result, get a clean sheet, which is important. But like I said, they've got a run of fixtures coming up where they know they have to pick points up against those teams.
Pacheco to get past Parisset, who was standing her ground. Well, Chelsea were certainly the favourites for this game, but don't think anyone expected it to be this big of a result for Chelsea.
No, I thought it was going to be a lot closer, and I think especially out of the first 15 minutes or so started, I thought we could be in for a right game here, but Chelsea have just been ruthless. And listen, I've been on the end of an 8-0 loss from Chelsea when I was at West Ham, and it's heartbreaking. I mean, I didn't speak to no one, I don't think, for about a week, but you just, when Chelsea are like this, they're in this form, there's not much that many teams can do.
Staniforth. Hansen loses out. Well, Carter almost giving it away there to Daly. And you can hear the frustration as well from Rachel Daly, who had a couple of chances in the first half, but really the Chelsea defence have done well to minimise any of Aston Villa's chances in this game.
Yeah, sometimes you don't get the luck, for example, there with Jess Carter with a heavy touch. Sometimes when you do have luck on your side, that falls to you rather than going back to the defender, but they haven't got any of that at the moment either.
So the change for Chelsea then, Khadisha Buchanan replaces the Chelsea captain Millie Bright, who scored the opening goal for Chelsea on her 250th appearance.
Yeah, again here, like I said, she's calm and composed, left-footed volley into the bottom corner. She looked fuming, to be honest, that she scored, but she's a huge player for Chelsea, and I'm glad she got a goal on her 250 appearance as well.
And the other change for Chelsea, Maren Mielder, who's taken the captain's armband after Millie Bright goes on the bench for Ev Perisset. Lawrence. Chased down here by Ritin Carnareed. And a change for Aston Villa as well, as Lucy Staniforth makes way for Olivia McLaughlin.
Substitution for Aston Villa, replacing number 5, Lucy Staniforth, is number 16, Olivia McLaughlin.
Well, the face of frustration on Lucy Staniforth. Some harsh lessons learnt by the players today.
Yeah, and obviously she's a player with a lot of experience in the WSL, but she'll know by her own standard that that's not good enough.
Well, it's Emily Salmon putting the pressure on this Chelsea defence. Salmon looking to weave her way through. Khadisha Buchanan had it covered for Chelsea.
And also Maren Mielder there. No, she's so experienced and so clever with her positioning. Yes, she does do the initial turnover, but she just knows how to use her body to get back in and around the ball, and Buchanan getting an important cover for her teammate as well.
Mielder into Shukanuskan. Going into the final 10 minutes of this game. And quite confidently say 3 points wrapped up for Chelsea already. Two very contrasting starts to the seasons from both teams. Charles. Here's Daly. A little bit of miscommunication perhaps, Pacheco and Hansen. Katrin Berger is on her way to 50 WSL clean sheets as well, if they do keep a clean sheet, Chelsea. So a couple of milestones amongst the Chelsea squad this afternoon.
You'll be hoping as well when you play in a game like this where you've dominated so much, you put 6 goals on the ball, you don't want to give away a silly goal now and ruin that clean sheet record especially.
Here is Lawrence, but she's held a run because the flag was up. Well, we thought there may be another milestone, but they will have to wait. Sophie Ingle, she was one appearance away from equaling the WSL all-time appearance record to 183, but she'll have to wait her turn for that to happen. Here's Mailing. Now Corsi. So whip one into the penalty area, but and away by Chelsea. Here's McLaughlin. Pacheco. And over, and no pressure really being put on the Chelsea defence. This is Charles. Overlooking for Hansen, who will take on Carter. Try the best, but well held in the end by Carter. Well, Chelsea's Champions League campaign will get up and running in this month. Of course, a busy month of fixtures for them. They've got Everton next, and then they've got Real Madrid in the Champions League. And this performance, this win for Chelsea will certainly build that momentum going into this month of busy fixtures. Charles. Laughlin looking to keep hold of it. Now Daly. With the right cross, and it was shot down low and hard into the hands of Berger.
Yeah, I think that was hard for Daly there, because McLaughlin plays the ball through, but it just had a little bit of too much pace on it, and Rachel Daly's just stretching at the ball and just trying to make the best of a bad situation, really.
Here's Lawrence. Corsi. Hansen.
I think the biggest positive that Aston Villa really can take from this game is Kirsty Hansen being back, and she's had a frustrating afternoon, but she's really been their only outlet and the only player really creating anything when she gets the ball, so I think that's a huge positive for them.
And a free kick for Aston Villa will be going all the way to the very end to try and get at least something. Really good delivery. It was spilled by Berger. Katrin Berger has stayed down after that.
Yeah, it's brave of her to come out there. I think she just gets clattered and lands a little bit awkwardly as well. See her arms up in the air, that means you've been winded. We've all been there. It's one of the most painful things you can experience, but it's good to see her up.
Well, this is what this result means then for Carla Ward. Aston Villa, bottom of the Women's Super League table on goal difference, joint on points with Bristol City. A much different story then for Chelsea, who go top on 13 points. Here's Carter. Tinkanerid. Beaver Jones back to Bukanuskin, and now Tjankovic. Then played it by Fleming, and now Lawrence. Buchanan. Berger. To Buchanan. Charles. Now Fleming has options ahead of her. Carter out wide. Here's Rutin Carter-Reid. Carter with the cross and just tipped over by Van Domselaar.
Yeah, it's a really, really important touch from Van Domselaar. I think you're hearing it from, I don't know if it's the subs bench or the staff. They're saying no cross, no cross. You need to get tighter to Jess Carter there, but it's an important hand over the bar from Van Domselaar.
Jankovic will take this corner for Chelsea. And it goes to Fleming. Jankovic again looking to hold on to the opportunity, but too much power behind it. A chance, Jilly, for you to let us know who your player of the match is.
Yeah, I mean, I think don't think there's any Chelsea player who had a bad game today, but for me, it's Fran Kirby. You know, she was ranked first in goals, expected goals, shots, touches in the opposition box. But for the first half especially, she was so key to Chelsea's play and everything went through her.
Jankovic, who fires it into the stands.
So yeah, for me, she's been huge. It's so good to see her back on the pitch as well.
Well, it certainly will be a result that a lot of the Chelsea players, a lot of the Chelsea travelling support as well will be remembering this season. And they have certainly been making their voices heard throughout this game. They have enjoyed what they've seen this afternoon, despite the wet and windy conditions here. Into 5 minutes of added time. And Chelsea continue to attack. Carter across, looking for Rutin Carter-Reid, and it was good defensive block by Turner.
Yeah, really good from Carter as well. You can see her now being pushed out, obviously, to the right back position. She's able to get forward a lot more. Good covering from Dan Turner there, an important tackle. She has to time that right too.
Here's Beaver Jones. Look out to Jankovic. And now Charles. Gilly, as a player, do you want to forget about a result like this, or do you use it as firepower for the rest of the season?
The ultimate pro in me should say, no, I just want to forget about it, I don't want to move on. But no, you got to analyse it, and you've got to use the hurt that you feel to make sure that you don't ever feel that way again. But it is difficult, and it's never nice, especially to have a hard defeat in the manner as well that they have. But you just got to pick yourself up, because you've got a game around the corner too.
Here's Mailing. Nicola Brown. McLaughlin. And just watched into the hands there of Berger. Well, more WSL action to look forward to tomorrow from 6:30 on Sky Sports Football. It's Brighton who host Manchester United in the Women's Super League. Another game which I'm sure that the Chelsea players will be keeping a close eye on as well. Nusken. This is Rutin Carter-Reid. Lawrence. Charles. It's Jankovic. Chelsea pushing for a 7th, and Jankovic very nearly got it. Beaver-Jones weaving her way through, looks to the referee.
Oh, I held my breath then because I didn't know whether she'd overhit it or whether it was going right in the back corner, but it's a huge, huge save for Van Domselaar.
Daly. Pacheco.
Yeah, here, look, you're just seeing it. Oh, it's a huge touch. It pushed it onto the post. I thought she'd overhit it first, but that's a big save.
Well, certainly been a busy afternoon for Daphne van Domselaar in the Aston Villa goal. There's Whitney Connery, who was trying to get in there, but Turner got there just in time.
That's good as well. You see the hesitation there between goalkeeper and defender, and that's sometimes when you're a defender, you just got to make the decision for him. And an important tackle there from Dan Turner.
Plenty still waiting for this for Chelsea. The header was there from Charles and it lifted over. Too much power behind it. Not their day. A painful, painful result for Carla Ward and her Aston Villa team. But this is Chelsea's day. From the top to the bottom, two teams who will leave this stadium with totally contrasting feelings. Chelsea take 3 important points to continue their pursuit of the top. Aston Villa suffer their 5th defeat in a row. 6 different goal scorers for Chelsea. The first starting with Millie Bright, who opened the scoring for Chelsea in the first half. Frank Kirby was able to get the second for Chelsea. Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd scored a lovely individual goal to make it 3-0 and make it really comfortable for Chelsea. Ashley Lawrence with her first goal for the club as well, made it 4. Aggie Beaver-Jones with 5. And the 6th from Niamh Charles made sure for the 3 points. The full-time score, Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 6.
Ping, Gilly, thank you. That result then moves Chelsea top of the table, but Aston Villa bottom. Jodie, Karen. Jodie, where does that leave Carla Ward?
I don't think it leaves her in a pretty good spot. It's a really tough defeat. I wasn't expecting Villa to win. I was expecting Chelsea to win, but wasn't expecting them to lose by such a high score line. You know, I think it's quite unfortunate how they've started the season, but today's result was pretty bad.
Seeing some of those reactions at the end, we know what big friends Carla Ward and Emma Hayes are. It's such a lonely walk sometimes as a manager. What must be going through her head at the moment, Karen?
It's tough, isn't it? I think the pictures speak volumes, really. Look, no one wants to go out and lose in that manner. I think everyone puts in that work and that effort. But I just think now you saw the huge gulf, the organisation, the defensive structure of the side. It's not through a lack of effort, but there needs to be some sort of assessment. And look, I'm sure she's hurting. No manager ever wants to see that or feel that, and it will hurt. And that's the brutal side of management. So, yeah, it's a tough one today.
All right, we'll get the thoughts of Carla Ward before we leave you this afternoon, and from Emma Hayes as her Chelsea side then move top of the WSL table. The first game of this match week 5. 6-0 win then for Chelsea. Tomorrow opens up with a tantalising tussle between Arsenal and Manchester City. Liverpool, Leicester, Spurs, Everton, Bristol City, who Villa have replaced at the bottom of the table, still looking for their first points. They head to West Ham, and we'll bring you Brighton, Manchester United from 6:45. Confirmation then of Chelsea top of the table. Manchester City will look to respond, but they're top heading into Sunday. Villa bottom. Chelsea on pole then. Meanwhile, at the Brazilian Grand Prix in Sao Paulo, you can watch the sprint from 5:30. The race tomorrow from 3:30. Lewis Hamilton looking for redemption in that one. Retribution, though, now showing on Sky Cinema. Liam Neeson and co. You can watch that now. Well, it was an action thriller if you're a Chelsea fan at the best, Scott. The villains of the piece, though, the home side. Another defeat for Carla Ward's side. Reaction to come.
Connery keeps hold of it as well. Charles! It's 6. And this is painful for Aston Villa.
Yeah, painful's right. 2-0 at half-time, 6-0 at full-time. Equals the biggest home defeat in the WSL for Aston Villa. Just look at those stats for Chelsea, though. 27 shots, that's the third most of the season. But the XG, actually their highest. The touches in the opposition box, second highest for them for the season. But that XG, as I was saying, is the highest out of any team in the league this season. 6-0 then, this lunchtime. That win over Aston Villa sends Chelsea top of the table. It was a while back, but Fran Kirby actually scored the second goal for Chelsea, and she's the player of the match.
Well, Fran, dominant performance, big win, personally and for the team, really good day.
Yeah, really happy with the performance, really happy with the win. Obviously, you never know how people are coming back in after international break, so we knew we had to perform well today, and the team did that.
Villa started pretty brightly, didn't they? For you then, where do you start to exert your influence and find spaces?
I think it takes, a bit of time to find out where the spaces are and work out what formation the other team are playing. But yeah, Villa, they're a top side. They've got top quality players, and we know we have to be at our best to beat a team like Villa. So luckily for us, obviously, I think we were very, very ruthless in front of goal.
Should we tell people what you said off camera, though? You said only one goal for me. Fuming was your word.
Yeah, I think obviously they defended really well in the first half. They had bodies on the line, and yeah, I would have liked to have a couple more goals, but I can't be too greedy. I'm happy to get off the mark for Chelsea this season and get a goal, and yeah, like I said, the most important thing are the 3 points.
Happy generally. It's been a really big week for you, isn't it? After missing so much, and you've been very open about it, been through a pretty dark time.
Yeah, look, I've been very honest about how I've been in the last few months, and I know, I still have to build, I still have to get my fitness up, but yeah, I'm entering a good stage now. I'm feeling like I'm getting a lot more sharper on the pitch, and yeah, it's going to come with time. It's not something that happens overnight, and I think people watching expect you to be at your best every time. When you come back from injury, it takes a bit of time to get there.
So sharper on the pitch and happy off it as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm someone that takes things, hopefully not too hard on myself. So I try and keep myself in a good place. And yeah, I'm in a good place right now. So hopefully I can stay there.
Well, today was brilliant for you. You are the Barclays Player of the Match.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Phil, there's a few more coming her way this season. Jodie Taylor, Karen Carney here. Your old teammate, Jodie, to see her back scoring for England during the week and then scoring again today. After all she's been through, how pleasing is that?
Oh, super pleasing. She's had a great week, hasn't she, for both England and for Chelsea, but great to see her back. It has been a tough time for her. Injuries are never easy. She's had a really rough spell, and to see her back on the pitch and not only scoring goals, but playing well and performing, it's great to see.
There's a really emotional interview with her on the Chelsea website at the moment, just talking about how she had to bring herself back into the squad after feeling isolated. But you can see on the pitch her link-up play just how much she means.
I used the word connector the other day to describe Fran Kirby because she just brings everybody else together. Those passes, the way she makes... if she was passing to Jodie, it would always to make Jodie better.
Yeah.
And that's just something that it's the simple thing, but she does them so well, and she just brings everyone together. And it was really pleasing to see her get a goal. And she mentioned the expectations, but there's expectations on players because they're that good. And sometimes she is right to say, hey, look, I've been out for a while, but look, no one around her. This is the timing of her run I think Jodie mentioned really, really well. No one's ever marking her. She's got this now sort of picking up the ball in the right areas. It's good play, 1-2 down that flanks, but it's just the arrival, and she constantly does it. And she's right to say she would have wanted more, but I thought it was a top performance for her and a player that's building and getting better and stronger every single game.
And we still think she's like 18, don't we? I know she's hit 30 now, but she wouldn't have come back unless she thought she could play at the top of her game.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's got great support around her with her manager in Emma Hayes, and you listen to interviews with Emma and showing how much value and belief she has in Fran. I think as a player you feel that from your manager, so again, brilliant to see her back on the pitch, and hopefully she can stay healthy and keep performing and scoring goals for both Chelsea and England.
She was a driving force, but Chelsea were ruthless from the beginning. Their captain, Millie Bright, her 250th appearance in all competitions, pops up with the first goal.
Yeah, this is how they broke them down, a set piece, because to be fair, Villa were OK first 15 minutes, but then they kind of capitulated, and it was from this set piece, not really marking people correctly in the penalty area. And look, it just lands a second phase there for Millie Bright. It was a goal line clearance, but this is the chaos it caused, a set piece movement. There was a goal line clearance from Rachel Daly from the Mia Fisher header, but that was 1-0, and that was where it all went wrong for Villa then.
Yeah, 1-0, it was 2-0 at half-time, 3-0 then with Ritting Canarid as well. I mean, it's quite, when you look at just actually a lot of the Chelsea goals all from similar situations.
Yeah, and you know, I think at 2-0, there was a bit of a spell where I thought Villa might get back into this. You know, nick a goal, 2-1, it would be a completely different game. But then once Canarid went on that run and obviously showing their pace there, I think it was game over at 3-0. And then they kept the pressure on. We talk about them being relentless in the first half, and they were even more relentless in the second half.
Who's marking Lawrence?
Really bad defending. I don't think Anna Patton gets drawn out there, doesn't see Lawrence running through in the box, and it was a brilliant cross, but she's wide open in front of goal. You're not going to miss from there, regardless of what part of your body you're going to score with it. This goal, I love this from Beaver Jones, just showing her pace, and she does so well to take a touch across the defender, and once you get into the box in those areas, the defender is getting nowhere near you. But just really good awareness to cut across the defender. She takes a quick glance up, sees her far post open and slots it away.
Niamh Charles for her work rate again. We saw her do it for England, and now for Chelsea she deserved this.
Yeah, she did, to be fair. On that left-hand side, she was a threat the whole game. Again, no one's really picking her up. She goes in quite late and goes into those central areas. Again, good wide play. Look, it's just too easy. And I think I mentioned it at the start of the show, Aston Villa in possession are OK. Out of possession, really poor. And we've seen from all the goals, they're not physically, they can't compete, they can't keep up with the pace. And the gulf between that is just the competitiveness of the 1v1 battles is not there, and we saw that today.
We started this show asking what Chelsea would be like after the international break. There you go. We'll talk Aston Villa next and hear from both managers with Carla Ward and Emma Hayes. Two very different angles to come from the top and the bottom of the table. Paints 1,000 words that it's not a pretty picture for Carla Ward after that defeat. Let's hear from her with Pat.
Well, Carla, it seems a while ago now, but you actually made a good start to the match. After that, does their quality tell, but also does your confidence drain away?
Yeah, a bit of both, if I'm honest. I think at half-time we were still in the game. We said that first 25 minutes, thought we were excellent. And then we went in at half-time and we actually wanted to step on. We were about to make an attacking change at 2-0 down, and then we conceded, which was really, really terrible timing. But look, I think I asked for heart and desire from the girls today. We got that, but the excellence and the moments from Chelsea, along with, like you say, confidence after 4 defeats is tough.
Yeah, where do you see the balance today? How much of the 6-0 is them being very good, and how much is it vulnerability, weakness in your own team?
Yeah, listen, a bit of both. Look, everybody knows with momentum in football it's tough, and when you've lost 4 games and then you know, sometimes you go a couple of goals down, you think you're still in it. The third one is a sucker punch, of course. When you've got, you know, when the confidence is not there, that becomes tough. So, yeah, look, like I said, it's a tough one. It's a real tough one. We're in a really bad spot at the minute, but that's football, and we've got to get out of it. It's my job to do that, and listen, I will work tirelessly and continue to work tirelessly in order to try and get this back.
Defensively, out of possession, how much of a concern is it for you at the moment? It's 10 in 2 games, 2+ in every match this season. And look, you know better than me, you don't win football matches like that.
Yeah, 100%. It's something we need to address. It's frustrating, it really is, because we spent most of pre-season working on that. But yeah, it's tough. But there's a number of things, and we've got to continue to look at every aspect.
So how are you going to go about lifting them, Carla? You said you're in a really difficult spot at the moment.
We are, but one thing I am good at is usually lifting the players and getting them going again. And I mean, some of the leaders in the group at the end said then we've got to stick together, and that's the big thing, you know. We can't turn, we can't panic, we can't start pointing fingers. We've got to, each and every single one of us, look at it, but most importantly me, you know, I'm leading the ship. I'm somebody that takes a lot of pride in the work that I do, and you know, for as long as I'm here, I will continue to do that.
You left your captain out today, and you knew beforehand, you said it's a big call. In the end, did it cost you a bit of stability and organisation?
Potentially, but there's a number of things out there today that we need to obviously look at, rectify. But like I said, this is a real tough moment for me, certainly as a manager. You know, it's probably not a position I've been in, certainly not a position that this group of players has been in. It's a test of character now. It's a test of character. But listen, I'm tough, I'm resilient, and I won't roll over.
Can you tell us, on a human level, I mean, how tough is it? You're the person who has to come out and do an interview you don't want to do. You have to lift the players. You have to explain it to the owners and the supporters. You're a person, not just the manager. How difficult is it?
Yeah, you put it there, and you're not wrong. It's tough, of course, it's tough, and you know, thankfully, I've got people like Emma that I probably ring every day, and she's been there, done it, and you know, you need those people. But like I said, I'm still a young manager, fairly young in the game. I'm finding out very quickly about certain momentum swings. It's tough, of course it is. Like you said, I'm a human being, I'm a parent, I'm somebody that cares a lot about everybody. So it hurts, it really hurts. And the last 4 weeks have probably been the toughest 4 weeks in my managerial career.
You also said in one of your earlier answers, I'll give my all as long as I'm here. You're not naive. You know results like this, they put pressure on managers, sometimes cost managers their jobs. Do you feel like you got the backing you need from the owners?
Listen, I think everybody knows in this job you're only a few games away from the sack. Everybody knows there's one certainty in football, and you can get the sack at any point. It's a ruthless business, of course. I'm under no illusion. It's a results business. So, look, like I said, anyone that knows me, and these players will tell you, I give them absolutely everything. They give me everything. I will continue to give everything to everybody for every minute that I'm here. And if at any point the board decide that they want to make a change, look, I will leave with my head held high. I think I've done a fantastic job since I've been in, and that's all I can say on it. It's out of my hands, but like I said, for every minute that I'm here, I will continue to work for these players and this football club.
Thank you for coming out and speaking like that. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Carla.
Well, she answered everything, Carla Ward. If she's still there, results this season, 5 defeats, worst start to a season, equaling their worst run of defeats in the WSL ever. Karen, do you think they'll make a change?
Well, you look at that, they've played Man United, Arsenal and Chelsea in those opening 5 games, so it's been tough for her. What I would say is her interview was exceptional. What I would say is, if I'm looking at it from a board's perspective, are those the games where I really judge Carla Ward on now? Am I expecting her to beat Bristol, West Ham? Are these the likely games where she should pick up points? And football could turn around very quickly, and by then she could have 9 points on the board. Who's to say? So it was a difficult start. I have to applaud her for that fantastic interview, facing up, fronting up. It's not good statistically, the amount of goals are conceded. That is a worry for me, but maybe, given that, she should be given the chance. But the board might take a different decision, but that's on them. But I thought her interview was brave.
They've got Brighton as well to come, Jodie, before Christmas too. These are all teams that are around the bottom with them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think it's a pivotal moment for the team, for the club, and the question is, do you get rid of her? Who do you bring in when you've got these huge games coming up? Battle of relegation at the bottom of the table. To play in Bristol City soon. You know, there's huge games that they have. Do they stick with it? Do they not? But, you know, she refers to herself as a young manager, but she's not naive enough to know that her job is on the line. And like Kaz said, I think she's had a really tough start to the season. They've had a couple of injuries. They've had one of their key players get a red card in the first game and got suspended for 3 games. So the odds are stacked against them at the minute. But I think the club have got a big decision to make.
Let's hear from another of those key players then. We talk about leaders, none more so than in Rachel Daly. She's with Pat.
Of that horrible, embarrassing, what word would you use?
Definitely not embarrassing. You can use that word, but we're not gonna use that word. It was, you know, the true football people who watch this game today will realise that was a gutsy performance, and no one knows what's around the corner for football, and that's the beauty of it. We're in a tough spot. We know that. We know that there's a long way to go, but the belief in this team and the belief that we have in the staff and everyone around us is massive. And yeah, obviously the scoreline doesn't reflect that, and yeah, it doesn't look good. But at the end of the day, we've got each other's backs, we've got everyone around us backs, and there's a lot of games coming in November, thick and fast, and the only thing we can do is turn it around.
There's the support then for all that's happening around, and that's all you can ask for. The question is, this manager or another manager, whatever happens, is there enough in that team to turn these results around?
I think so. I do. I mean, hearing from Rachel Daly there, the positive, and this is about how they react to these results. They've had a tough start. They know that. They're holding their hands up to that. But I think they can turn it around.
The reason we're talking about Aston Villa, Chelsea have gone top of the table. If you want to hear from Emma Hayes, you will be able to across Sky Sports News and on social throughout the afternoon. But the focus is on Aston Villa because of how well they did. It was their best season last season, and it's that dramatic change.
Well, look, it happened to Spurs. Spurs had a brilliant season, and then they tried to play more expansive, and then obviously they went backwards and they've had to start again. What it is, it's a reality check, Caroline. It's a reality check for Aston Villa. It was a brilliant season last year, but they've recruited in the wrong areas, and that's been a consequence for them. But I do think with the fixtures coming up, there needs to be a little bit of like, well, look, we're not as good as we are. We are in the pickle that Rachel Daly said. We'll probably have to remove our ego and do some of the dirty things that no one really wants to do and build our confidence from there. But I do think those fixtures that are coming up, they have an opportunity to put it right. It's, as Jodie said, it's been a tough start for them. And I don't like to suggest any manager goes or whatever, but I understand the narrative isn't great for Aston Villa. But I think it's been a huge reality check. And the gulf, I know this is Chelsea and they are the top, but there is a huge gulf between Chelsea and Villa, and I think there's a huge gulf then between even them and the other couple of teams that are above them as well. So it's a bit of a reality check for me, and recruitment in January will be massive for Villa.
All right, who will be in charge? As you say, no one wants to see anyone lose their job, but such honesty from Carla Ward in that interview with Pat as well. It's a Villa side then bottom of the table this afternoon, whilst Chelsea head top.